college in itself is way more than just academics, so just know that. Hey, it's Ayla. Welcome back to my channel.
She looking like the type to drive me crazy. Save the name under Ayla. Talk for one day and really got me thinking, if you was down to go half on a baby, we could make it happen, cause you bad as hell and I don't even gotta say.
Okay, so basically today I'm going to finally be talking about my first year experience at Clark Atlanta University and why I'm transferring. I was kind of gonna do like a long story time of like how it was, but I felt like this would be better if I did it in like little sections. So I'm going to be doing it in sections. I'm going to do like talking about parties, a section for like housing, a section for like academics, and you know, whatever I can think of to make sections for. So also in the description I'm going to have timestamps, so if you don't want to hear about like, if I start talking about boys, if you don't want to hear about that, you can skip to like whatever you want to hear. But honestly, I feel like if you're an incoming freshman, you should probably want to hear about everything, but up to you. And I'm going to try and go in as depth as I can, just so you guys can like fully understand. But when I do like the categories, it's going to be like my experience and things like that. And I hear this all the time, but Clark is what you make it, so I guess I didn't make it amazing, I don't know. But yeah, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is the thing like I guess people might want to know most, and it's going to be the boys. So if you don't know, which a lot of people do, the population from boys to girls is like not even at all, not even close to even. There's way more girls that go to Clark than boys, so it is slim pickings. Obviously, like if you're like looking for, I don't know, a man or something, I guess it could be slim pickings to like finding one. But in my opinion, I do like Clark boys more than I liked Morehouse boys, just because Clark guys literally will ride for their Clark sisters, like on everything. They'll ride till the wheels fall off for their Clark sisters, and that's one thing that like Morehouse boys won't do, just because they have their Spelman sisters, which they kind of tend to like gravitate towards mostly because, you know, Morehouse and Spelman, it just makes more sense, I guess, to them or whatever. But I would say that like I do like Clark guys better. They've treated me better. They were better friends to me. So shout out to all the Clark guys. I don't even like saying guys. Shout out to all the Clark men that treated me so well this past year. I really appreciate you guys for being my friend. I never really like talked to a Clark guy like that, but I didn't really like talk to anyone like that, honestly. I don't really think that like the guys in college are aiming towards like a relationship, so please, for the life of you, do not go into Clark thinking that you're going to get like a relationship from these freshman guys or these sophomore guys. Okay, I kind of wanted to reword this part because it kind of seems like I'm a hater and that you can't get in a relationship in college. I was just kind of saying like in a general sense, in my sense, I came into college thinking I was going to get a relationship and I didn't. But basically, like, not everybody has bad intentions. You just have to know what to look for and what to look into in a person. And yeah, I know a couple people got into a relationship freshman year and are doing great right now. So there are guys out there. You just gotta know what to look for. And yeah, like whatever, because most of the time that's not what they want. Y'all know what they want. And yeah, and if like that's what you're getting to, like just wanting one thing, like obviously go for it, just because like we are young and I feel like we can have like, we're still learning about our sexual experience anyways, so I feel like you know, like it's not really a time to settle down anyways. Well, so I would say coming in, don't expect too much from these guys, just because they're always gonna ride for their homies more. They're gonna ride from you for one, and they're not really like, I don't think anybody's going into college thinking like I want to be in a relationship. And that's like honestly how I went into college. I was like, oh, like I want to get into a relationship, so I let anything slide, hoping like that like at the end I'll be in a relationship, and it never works like that. So, and another thing is, do not beg these guys for nothing. Do not. It's so embarrassing, like now that I think about it, like begging a guy to like really want me and like be in a relationship with me. Like, plus there's so many like guys in Atlanta, period. You still have GSU, you still have KSU. Like, do not beg these men to want you like that. Do not beg them, because half the time they won't. And half the time they're like, when you really get to know them, they're mediocre anyway. So do not beg them for nothing. That's one thing I definitely want to put my foot down on. Stop begging these niggas for shit. I'm not saying either like don't talk to Morehouse guys, because there are like some very like attractive and good Morehouse guys, and I'm not saying that everybody just wants one thing, but we're in college, sis. We're all around the same age group. We're all developing. Like, I definitely would say for like freshman year, if you wanted to hang out with guys, Clark guys are going to be way easier to hang out with than Morehouse guys. I'm kind of speaking more of like dorm types. Like if you want to go to their dorms, it's going to be so much easier to hang out with a Clark guy, because Clark freshman boys stay in Beckwith, Section 8. The visitation like situation, I'll get to that later, but it's so much easier to get into Beckwith than it is to get into any Morehouse dorms, which is like Graves, LLC, like all those. It's so much easier to get into those dorms than to get into other ones. Not saying that you should be going to meet guys in dorms anyways, but if you ever need to, like, if you ever wanted to hang out with people, like I've just hung out with people in the dorms, like not doing anything at all, just like chilling, it's way easier to get into Beckwith. So definitely make you some Clark guy friends to chill with, and you can definitely chill with them in Beckwith because it's way easier to get into and the restrictions are way less. So yeah. Next thing I'm going to talk about is the academics. So one thing I can say about the academics, and kind of like one of the reasons why I'm kind of transferring, is I didn't honestly feel challenged in high school. Like I would definitely have to like study for things. I would have to like genuinely try super hard to like pass. And first semester definitely was the semester I felt like I wasn't being challenged at all, in the slightest. Like I was learning things that I learned in high school. It was like easy to cheat. I don't know if like this sounds good to people, but like honestly, if I'm paying this much money, which is like I'll get to the reasons why I wanted to leave anyways, but if I'm paying this much money, I want to be challenged to my worst. I don't want to say I want to struggle, but I kind of like, you know, I want to struggle a little bit if I'm like paying this much money for like a class or anything. So I would say like my classes, I was obviously a freshman going into like general ed classes anyways, so I don't think they're supposed to be super hard, but I don't think that I was personally challenged to my best extent first semester or second semester. I can't say second semester I did have to try a little bit harder, and of course certain things were hard. Like math is always going to be hard, writing essays is always going to be hard, but like everything else wasn't too hard for me. And I'm not a brainiac either. Like I'm literally not like smart, you know, book smart or anything like that. So I just felt like I personally wasn't being challenged enough with the academics. But you do have to be careful. You need to know your schedule. You need to know what you need to have. Because a lot of like the advisors are working with a bunch of students, and they're not gonna like particularly look at you, so you need to know exactly what you need to want. I mean, what you like want to change in your schedule or anything like that, because you really can't trust like the advisors to handle everything for you. And definitely you have to send an email. You need to go in there, you need to call them, you need to email them, you need to see them. All three of those, you have to do all three of those to make sure that you're like getting taken care of, because like I said, there's a lot of people that they're caring for. And I think it might be an HBCU thing. I'm not even trying to be rude, but like they're kind of like slow with everything. They're not really like on point with like the whole like student handling thing. So I would definitely say be on your shit when it comes to knowing what you need from your academic advisors and stuff like that. Because there was one time I went into my academic advisor to speak to her, to ask her if I can change out of a class, because I went into Clark as a criminal justice major, and then I switched my major to mass media right before classes started. So I had a criminal justice class, and I didn't want to be in that obviously, because that wasn't my major. So I went to my advisor and I talked to her about it, and she literally like talked my ear off the entire time. It had nothing to do with like me changing the class. She just talked to me for like a long time, and then at the end she was like, oh, by the way, like I can't switch you out the class. And I was like, you just really have to stay on your stuff. And one thing that it comes to like Clark, be early with everything. Be early with changing your major. If you have a feeling in your heart that you want to change your major, change it really like way before you're starting school. So like when you see this video, change your major if you're really thinking about it, because that can affect like where you're going to be in. And I had to be in a criminal justice class for the entire semester, and I wasn't like, it did nothing for me but give me like a 3 credit. So yeah, just really be on your stuff when it comes to that. When it comes to classes, make sure you get to know people that are in your class, because I'm telling you, it's going to help you so much. Get their numbers, start a class group chat. Literally, that's gonna help you so much, because there's been multiple times where a person has told me like, hey, by the way, they have a quiz, and like I'm at lunch and I have the class right after lunch, so I'm like studying. They send answers, they'll send homework answers, test answers, study guides. They'll like, there's even been times like my classmates have told me like, hey, like we're going to the library, who wants to help study? Like that helps so much. So definitely get to know the people in your class. Okay, next I want to talk about friends. So going into Clark Atlanta, I know a lot of people have probably heard of this already, but definitely go on social media, hashtag, so my class was 23, so hashtag CAU 23 or hashtag CAU 24 if you're an incoming freshman. And definitely people make group chats over the summer. They like, that's how I met like most of my friends. That's actually how I met like all my friends going into Clark. Yeah, those group chats do really help to get to know people. It helps you with like to get followers if that's what you're looking for. They like support your businesses, support your YouTube channels. And yeah, you'll get to know people in your major and stuff like that. Group chats that they have for people for Morehouse, a whole just like Spark House group chat. So you get to know people from Spelman and you get to know people from Morehouse. So you'll have like a bunch of friends, and then you get to see them on the promenade and stuff like that. And that's something that I do think really helped me out, because the friends that I had, like I knew them from social media. So that's just like, hey, I follow you by the way, like type thing, and that's like how you guys can become good friends. But one thing I would say is don't limit yourself to a group of people, and that's one thing that I wish I didn't do. I just had like a group of people I hung out with, and I think that's not the best thing to do, because honestly, what happens like when your friends are busy? Then you have like literally no one to go to the cap with, no one to hang out with. So definitely branch out and make multiple like different groups of friends. I know it's so easy to click up at Clark Atlanta because Clark is so small. It's literally like a high school. So it's so easy to click up there, but definitely try and get out as much as possible and make multiple different groups of friends. I'm like, that's something I didn't do and I wish I did, and I'm begging you guys to do it because next I'm going to talk about like the living experience and housing and stuff like that. I lived in the suites. I lived in Suites 100. Personally, I think it's the best suites, but there's also so much going on in the suites. So basically the suites layout is one person gets a room on side one. There's a wall, like a straight wall that's like the size of that room, and then there's side two, which another person stays on, and then in front of side two there's gonna be a sink, and then in front of side one there's like a pantry area that has a refrigerator coming with the room and a microwave that comes with the room, and like shelves where you could put your food. So for my side was side one. I had just my bed in my room. That's like literally the only thing that fit in my room was my bed. And then outside, like kind of like in front of my bed, I had my dresser, and I had my what's it called? I had a desk, which the desk, the bed, and the dresser obviously come together with the room. I definitely wish I had side two, because I think side two is more spacious, but side one and side two are different in each room. So you definitely have to see, like when you get in, you're not gonna know like which side is gonna be bigger. But what I would say about the living room, like living and moving in, do not bring too much stuff. Even though the suites are definitely bigger than traditionals, do not bring a lot of stuff, because that was my problem. I brought like a lot of stuff. I moved literally across the country. I was living in California and I moved to Atlanta, and I brought so much stuff, and then my mom kept sending me stuff because she was moving back to Florida, so she didn't want to have my stuff to move, so she kept sending me stuff, and my room was always messy. It was really hard to clean. I'm always doing laundry because I brought so many clothes there, and it was so overwhelming to have that much stuff. I never like, my room was just always messy. It was so embarrassing and so annoying, because my friends would want to come to my room and I'd be like, can we go to somebody else's room? Like, my room is messy all the time, and I would try to clean it, and it's just like, there was just way too much stuff. So definitely I would say, I know it's gonna be hard, but do not bring too much stuff. Like, just bring your favorite outfits, bring some comfy outfits, and bring like a suitcase to put under your bed of clothes for the winter, but do not bring too much stuff. Like, I promise you it's not worth it. Having a messy room all the time, like, it really messes with your mind. So we have suite mates, so we share a bathroom, basically a bathroom that leads right to their room. My suite mate was the RA, so I was kind of at a disadvantage to do like super fun things in my room, just because like my RA is across the hall, so I can't really be acting a fool or anything. But the most exciting things that happen in the suites are when the fire alarm goes off, and that happened like a lot last semester. And we'd all have to leave and wait for the fire department to come check the building, and it's always so much fun when you go outside and the fire department goes off. Like, people are taking pictures in front of the fire truck, like in front of 12. It's just so much fun. So I mean, it's not fun because especially when you think you're the one who like let off the fire alarm. But a lot of people have like hot pans and like hot like stuff so you can cook, and that's usually the only thing that kind of like makes the fire alarm go off, unless you're like smoking above the fire thing. Like, that would just be stupid. But yeah, a rule is you like really can't smoke in your room or do any of that, but you should smell the hallways, especially the second floor, y'all. They gassed the second floor out it didn't matter what time it was. And when my family moved in, when my family helped me move my stuff out, they were like why does it smell like that? It smells so loud. I'm like, because like that's one thing the RAs won't get on is smoking, and it's kind of just because they don't know like who's smoking, so they can't really, you know, they're not going to check every single room, but they do room checks. So make sure if you do have contraband, make sure you hide it. They can't go in suitcases, so put your stuff in bags so they won't see it. Not that I'm saying like you should bring stuff that you're not supposed to, but if you do happen to have contraband, hide that. They do tell you when there's going to be room checks, so just look in the elevator. It'll tell you like room check, stuff like that. And what else can I say? Oh, I had a really cool roommate. We didn't talk that much, which was okay with me because I didn't really like mind. I don't know if it was okay with her. She was really cool. We never had any problems. Okay, so next I want to talk about the CAF food. So I did do an unpopular opinions video about CAU early into the semesters, so if you guys want to watch that, that will be, I want to say, up here somewhere. The CAF food, honestly, I found it good, but that was just because my mom doesn't really cook for me, and the CAF food was like there. So definitely go to the CAF every chance you get, because as a freshman you're supposed to get unlimited swipes, unless you're like my friend who literally opted out of that and had to have everyone swipe him in. But you get unlimited swipes as a freshman, so definitely use them up. You need to be creative because the CAF food does get old quick, so you need to be creative. My favorite thing, this is gonna sound weird, my favorite thing to do was like get pasta, and then with the pasta sauce I got salad, and I would combine the salad and the pasta. And I know it sounds disgusting, but y'all, that helped me out. And fried chicken Wednesdays, go to the CAF at like 11, like 20. I'll have to wait in a long line because fried chicken Wednesday, people pay to come to fried chicken Wednesday. But I would say definitely put salt on your fried chicken because I didn't think it was like seasoned very well. But yeah, that was actually like my favorite day, fried Wednesday. I really looked forward to those days. But fried chicken Wednesday does get old, so you have to be creative. You have to mix your food up. You need to do that. And one thing I could not stand, they know that people live on campus on the weekends, so the CAF is open on the weekends. The times that they're open, I don't really remember the times, but it opens like sometime in the morning, then closes at 2, then it'll open back up at 4, and then like close at 6 or something. And they never make food on the weekends. Like, they do not make full meals on the weekends. It is so hard to live on campus and have to eat the CAF food on the weekends. So I would definitely say if you were going to eat out any day, it'd be the weekends. Definitely eat out on the weekends, because and BTJ's, y'all gotta go to BTJ's. It's literally across the street right near Walmart. That place saved my life so many times. Wings are super good, and their fried rice is super good. So get into that, y'all. So next I'm going to talk about the parties that I experienced. Honestly, I would say that I didn't go to a lot of parties, but I kind of like did from like my time being there. Definitely first semester was way better than second semester. First semester was hot, so you know, everything was busting. Like, everything was super cool first semester, and like second semester for me is like when it really went downhill. But yeah, first semester people are just getting to know each other. And then I don't know if you guys have like seen it on social media, but they do have promotion groups that promote parties. So if you are in a promotion group, you have to promote, obviously, on your social media. You have to post the parties and stuff like that, but you do get into parties, I guess, for free, and you get to skip the line, which I mean could be cool, because the lines for some of these parties were disgustingly ridiculous. And like there's been times that I paid $20 just to skip the line because I didn't want to wait all freaking night. Yeah, so if you do want to get into promotion group, you know, they have a bunch of them you could choose from. There's not a lot of Clark parties, there's more of like GSU parties, and they would like combine the two, but you can literally go to any party in Atlanta you want. Like there's so much going on in Atlanta, especially in Atlanta nightlife, so definitely go where you want. There's been times I've been to the club for like a party and Young Thug be in the club. Like it's just cool, so you can definitely go like anywhere you want. One thing I can say with these promotion groups is they're really based on the fact of money, so they'll literally let everyone and anything into the party. And there's been parties that I've been in that I've just been like smushed against people. It's not fun anymore when there's a million people in the parties. So my best bet to say is get there early, and then if you get there early you can probably get in for free, because it's usually girls for free at a certain time. So definitely go to parties early if you're really trying to have fun. And pregame before. In the summer when it was safe, we had promenade parties, so everybody would go on the promenade of like when all the freshmen come for orientation, we're all there at the same time. So that was the funnest part of the promenade, and the only time we really were on the promenade due to like what happened or the first semester for 2019. But that was the funnest times. Morehouse guys had a curfew. They had to be in their dorms by 12, which is so funny because you'll see them like literally running back to their dorms. Some of them were like, nah, like I'm cool, like I'm grown, I don't care about the curfew. We'll be running back at 12, or like at 11. They'll literally run back at like 11:58 and run all the way across the street to their dorms, so they're there on time. And it's so funny to see. But some girls, I don't even think we're allowed to leave, and they would literally sneak out and come to the promenade, and it was so fun. That's a great way to meet people, a great way to network if you like rap. There's so many people who rapped on the promenade, and it was just so much fun. But promenade parties were literally everything. You get to wear whatever you want, get cute, and it's just a great like meeting experience. And then like everyone that you met online comes to the promenade parties, and you're like, oh my god, like I follow her and she's shaking ass right now, fuck it up, you know, type shit. So yeah, I definitely loved the promenade parties, but you know, things happened. So, and then the last thing I wanted to talk about was my mental health. I went into college happy-go-lucky, doughy-eyed. I didn't have any problem. I've never had problems with like mental health. I've never even really had to like talk about mental health until I got into college. I feel like I heavily relied on like my family, and the fact that I was literally super far away from my mom like kind of like really challenged me at that, because if I was having a bad day I could always go to my mom. She'd make me feel better. But like sometimes my mom wouldn't even answer the phone. I'd be like, girl, like I'm your daughter, answer. Like your parents do get kind of low-key distant when you go to college. It was like kind of challenging being on my own, like having to feed myself, having to like wake up and like do the same thing over and over again. That was definitely hard for me. Did fall into like a slow depression, and I was glad that I did have like some good friends there to help me. Yeah, college does test your mental health, and there's like so many things that go on in college. Like you don't even know, like you think that you're gonna go into college, it's gonna be so much fun, but things are literally gonna test you from right and left. Like you're gonna have a quiz to do, and the nigga that you're talking to is fucking up, and your friends telling your business behind your back. Like it's just so much. And then the weather gets cold, and that just like kills everything. Like when the weather gets cold, I feel like everything fun in college stops. People aren't having parties anymore. There's not that many parties, if that. You know, so just like seasonal depression is literally real, and I feel like that was like a lot that I went through. And yeah, I was just also, and like to top it all off, I was having such a hard time like fitting in, not like fitting in, but like settling into living in a whole different state. And then that goes back to me, I would literally think of small things and get so homesick, and I'm like, yeah, nah, I gotta be like home. So that's like one of the reasons why I was thinking of transferring. But yeah, definitely need a good support system. They do have free counseling, so if you ever feel yourself like getting like super down or anything, definitely talk to somebody that you trust. I know it's going to be hard to find people that you trust. You've only known these people for like 5-6 months, but definitely try and find people that you trust. And definitely, if you do need help, do not hesitate to go to the services that they have at the school, because they are really helpful. Reasons for transferring, I kind of already went over them through the video, but I wasn't being academically challenged. I didn't want to really be in Atlanta. I kind of got into the school thinking like it was going to be a whole different thing than what it was, just because on the tour you don't really get to see like how living there is. Like, oh, you get to see the campus, how cute, but you don't get to see like how you're gonna be living. You don't get to see a glance of your college like freshman year. You don't get to see that you're gonna be hungry a lot. Like, I don't know, I just didn't really like Atlanta at that. Like, it's just so hard to explain why I didn't like it, but you know, like, there's a place for everyone, and I just felt like Clark was not the place for me. I want to try something else. Like, that's kind of like, and so much bad shit happened to me like last semester, or like the last few semesters of my last year. Like, I just didn't even want to be there. Kind of like the reason why I'm transferring. I just felt like that wasn't my place, and that's totally fine. Like, I feel like it's fine. I had my little experience at Clark. I got to meet who I met, whatever. On to the next thing. Like, it's not like really, there's nothing I want to say bad about the school or anything. It's just like, I think that's pretty much it. Any new incoming freshmen, one advice from me, I know I'm transferring, so there's really like nothing really, you're not gonna meet me there or anything, but definitely don't hesitate to talk to anybody from class of 23, because I know a lot of people who are so willing to help. And like I said, Clark is a very small school, so it's very easy to like get to know people and like get around there. So, and don't get around in a bad way. Definitely find somebody on a social media, hashtag CAU23, to talk to an upperclassman, because you know, we did go through a very hard semester, and it is kind of hard for me to talk about like my first year of college just because we did get cut short. But you can definitely reach out to anybody. I know everybody there, that's my favorite thing about it, HBCU, everybody there wants to see everyone succeed. So I feel like if you were to reach out to somebody, they're not gonna not answer unless you reach out to like a really horrible person. But that's the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you give a like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, bye.